Okay, it is July 15th, Tuesday morning. I am Tom Novak. Thank you for joining me for this unique weather update that's going to be focusing on some severe weather, probably more importantly, some heavy rains, locally heavy torrential rains for a good chunk of Minnesota and western Wisconsin here as we go through the late afternoon, evening, overnight hours. And then I have a funny feeling that this rain and thunderstorm activity is going to continue into tomorrow. It is steamy out there. It's going to be really hot today, especially this afternoon, hot and humid. That can be considered energy, and that's one of the ingredients that is needed for this what looks to be very interesting and bumpy weather event here over the next 24 to 36 hours. Okay, let's get right to it. Just real quickly, our friends over at Mayday Restoration are the ones that are sponsoring this update. We really appreciate it, Mayday. Of course, they take care of your exterior of your buildings, your properties. You get hail damage, siding damage, anything like that, or you just need some work done on the exterior of your buildings, your home, your business. Give them a call over that Mayday. They will take care of you. Okay, hey, remember this graphic? I put this out, or what did I put this out, 4 or 5 days ago, and I had mentioned that as we get a strong jet streak, which is a river Ver, it's a stronger winds within the jet stream. That strong jet streak is going to be approaching Minnesota and western Wisconsin as we get into early this week. And sure enough, that is what's happening. And I have this area earmarked to be watched closely, and that's exactly what we are doing right now this afternoon, for this afternoon, evening, and overnight. And then just a few days back, I put this out, and it still holds true. I put this graphic out. We've got some pretty serious energy here over southern and central Minnesota, northwestern Wisconsin, and it is along and just south of a warm front right now that's straddled from eastern South Dakota on east and northeast towards the Duluth area of northeastern Minnesota. And it's usually along and south of that front is an area that you want to monitor closely, and that is exactly what we are doing today, and we'll get more in depth into that here as we go through time. Okay, here is your, what do we got here? This is your infra or water vapor imagery. This is the moisture channel from outer space. And what I really wanted to just show you is right here. There is a little tiny spin. You can kind of see it, a little tiny spin in the atmosphere. That's a piece of energy that is now going to be moving east and northeast towards central Minnesota and the Twin Cities metro. And this area is what's likely going to, as it moves east and northeast, is going to ignite and cause a real serious and impressive thunderstorm outbreak over a good chunk of Minnesota and northern Wisconsin as we go through time. Your infrared satellite imagery, this measures the temperature of the cloud tops. And if you look over northern Minnesota, and I'm going to pause it here right at the start of the morning. This was early this morning at about 4 or 5 a.m. Look at these intense thunderstorms over northeastern Minnesota, creating real heavy rains up in northern Minnesota. But these storms have weakened, which is often the case here. As you go through the morning hours, storms weaken, and then they refire in the afternoon and evening. And I think that is what's going to happen right in this area here. And I'm going to show you why. The visible imagery kind of shows the same thing. Clear skies, or at least mostly sunny skies now over the southern one half of Minnesota, including the Twin Cities metro, Rochester, and Mankato. That's why it's going to heat up quite a bit here over southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Meanwhile, over northern Minnesota, it's a thick overcast up there. And yes, right in between is where you get this front, kind of right in this area here. And this will likely be on the southern edge of this heavy, dense overcast. This is likely where initiation is going to take place in the thunderstorm activity as we go through time. Okay, here are current temperatures now as of what? As of about 10 a.m. here across Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and already 82 degrees in the northern Twin Cities metro. So low to mid 80s already in the Twin Cities. Meanwhile, up here in Grand Forks, East Grand Forks, it's in the low 60s. And you can see there's a wind shift. Winds are coming out of the north here over eastern North Dakota, and they are coming out of the south in southern Minnesota. Yes, that would tell you that there is a front located right about here across central Minnesota, just north of St. Cloud near the Brainerd Lakes area. That's where that front is right now. And eventually storms are going to erupt right in this area, and they will sag south and east with time. All right, hey, look at all the rain that fell over the northern one quarter of Minnesota, basically from the Grand Forks, East Grand Forks area of northeastern North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota on east towards International Falls. We're talking about some rains in excess of 3 to 4 inches in some localized areas. Reason why I'm showing you this is because that same type of environment has sagged south now, and I expect similar rain totals to occur over the next 24 hours across central Minnesota and portions of northwestern Wisconsin as that front is sagging south. So we need to keep an eye on the rain as we go through these next 24 to 36 hours. A lot of it has to do with the winds in the atmosphere. These are the winds at about 20 to 25,000 feet, and they're pretty strong out of the west across northern and portions of central Minnesota. Now, when we go lower into the atmosphere at about 15,000 feet, look how strong these winds are. They're now starting to turn a little bit southwesterly, but they are still really strong at about 15,000 feet. And then at about 5 to 10,000 feet, and by the way, this is at right around 6 or 7 this evening, at about 5 to 10,000 feet, winds are still strong, especially near and just north of the Twin Cities metro. So that tells you that we have strong winds all the way through our atmosphere, and they are turning a little bit. Yes, if you've been watching me for all these years, you know that that's a pretty good recipe for some severe thunderstorm activity and organized thunderstorm activity because of the winds in our atmosphere. And look at the energy in our atmosphere. At about 4 o'clock today, the NAM 3K guidance shows intense energy at about 5,000 joules from near the Twin Cities, and especially just north of the Twin Cities, right near the Brainerd Lakes and St. Cloud areas. So late this afternoon, this would be the area that I think is going to erupt with strong, if not severe thunderstorms and heavy rain, would be from about the Hayward, Wisconsin area on west towards St. Cloud, Brainerd Lakes, and then eventually extending further west into eastern South Dakota, as intense energy is located over central Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin. Yes, this is ingredients are coming together for what looks to be a real active 24 to 36 hours. Future radar from the NAM 3K guidance. Let's get to it. Here's what it has for this morning. It doesn't show much, and that is the case. Our atmosphere has settled down over central and northern Minnesota, at least this morning. But watch as I put this into motion. Look at the thunderstorm activity, and here's your timestamp right up here. Okay, at about mid-afternoon, look at the storm starting to erupt near the Brainerd Lakes area and Duluth area of northern and central Minnesota. And then as we get into that 6 to 7 o'clock time frame, this is impressive. And I am worried about training thunderstorms here from near St. Cloud on east towards Spooner and Hayward, Wisconsin. Again, this is the radar at about 6 or 7 p.m. this evening. Those storms continue to develop and sag south into the metro of the Twin Cities. We'll see how much they hold together, but by about 8 or 9 p.m., the NAM guidance is still showing significant thunderstorm activity from the Twin Cities metro on east into northwestern Wisconsin, and it would also extend back west into eastern South Dakota. And then here is, I think, one of the big issues that we are going to be talking about is the rain and training thunderstorms. Look at this. This is 9 o'clock. Here's 10, 11, 12. This is midnight. 1, 2, 3. Look at how the thunderstorms just stay in place across central and then now portions of southern Minnesota as we get into the overnight hours. I have great concern for training thunderstorms and torrential rains over a good chunk of southern central Minnesota and northern Wisconsin, right in this area here, as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. Okay, and the rain doesn't get out of here until probably tomorrow evening. So we have a lot going on here over the next several hours, and we need to keep an eye to the sky because if we get that 4, 5, 6 inch type torrential rain totals in some localized areas, there will perhaps be some small stream river flooding in these locales that get that heavy rain activity. All right. We'll probably go live later this afternoon and evening if conditions warrant. Until then, take care and thanks for joining me.